If I could go back to my younger self, there are 7 tips that I would advise myself to do. I am 25 now, and it's crazy how quick time has gone. The past 2 years especially have just flown by. Time is an infinite movement, which will just never stop. When I look back, there are so many aspects of my personality that I would have changed, but I try not to dwell on it as much because there's no point. Obviously, I can't go back in time and access that part of me or talk to that part of me. Although I'm making this video for people who are entering adulthood, especially 18, 19, 20, 21, those really important years where your personality and your brain is literally growing and changing. God only knows how much further I would have progressed if I integrated these tips that I'm about to share when I was 18 or even younger than that. Now, when you're 18, you're introduced to all these different distractions, and that's completely fair. In Australia and even other parts of the world, the legal age to go out, to drink, to buy alcohol is 18. When I look back to when I was 18, I was so into going out and going clubbing and drinking and all this stuff that I didn't really work on important things that I should have learnt. So, tip number one would be of books. Books not only taught me patience and the willingness to learn and perseverance, but also all these newfound information that I didn't even learn in school, such as how to have good conversations, how to be confident in yourself, self-help strategies, information about the future, information about technology. I feel like if you're young, yes, and you're turning 18, there is gonna be so many distractions because you have so much more accessibility to things. But I also think that picking up a book at that age is really, really beneficial because you're gonna open up gateways of knowledge for yourself. Tip number 2, exercising. I think it's important to start exercising from an early age. People don't realize that if you don't exercise in your early years, it's gonna affect you way worse in your later years. When I was a teenager, I had a really, really bad diet. I was super skinny, I was super underweight. I didn't have a good diet. I didn't used to have breakfast. I used to have a lot of soft drinks and I looked like this. And I just wasn't happy with how I used to look, which then affected my confidence and my ability to speak to people, to hold genuine conversations, and even talk to my friends sometimes. I was very insecure on my body. I remember starting properly exercising at the age of 19, 20, and I haven't stopped since. It just teaches you discipline. And if you can start consistently working out, and when I say working out, I don't just mean gym, I mean going for a run or going boxing or doing martial arts. Anything in a consistent manner will teach you so much discipline and will be so much more beneficial for you in your later years. Tip number 3, do not care of what people think of you. Now, when I say that, I don't mean become a rebel and start doing illegal things and start creating havoc in society just because you don't care what people think of you. I mean that in a way that can benefit you. I used to care so much about what people thought about me. Now I'm 25 now, and at times I still sometimes care about what people think about me because, again, that's human nature. It's what makes us human, the fear of judgment. But I can definitely say it's way, way less compared to, let's say, when I was 18, 19, 20. Sometimes I wouldn't voice my opinion or express my ideas with people that I cared about, or even just friends, or even just random people. I also missed out in joining educational clubs in school because I just had this insecurity of, what if I stuff up, and what if I'm not smart enough, and what if I say something that makes me look stupid? I just sometimes think of what I would have done if I had the mentality that I have now. That is of not really caring about what people think of me, because when you're making content like I do, you kind of need to demolish that fear. Tip number 4, travel by yourself. Man, this is something that I actually did at a very young age compared to some other people as well, and it completely changed my life. The reason I'm putting this tip in, even though I've kind of done it at a very young age, is because I just think it's so beneficial to people. I feel like everyone at least one point in their life should travel by themselves. And the reason for this is that traveling by yourself not only teaches you to become independent, you get to see the flaws in your mistakes, because you at the end of the day are responsible for where you have to go, for the bus that you have to catch, for the people that you have to see. And it takes you completely out of your comfort zone. Now, I'm not saying travel like I did internationally for 3 months. Even if you travel for a week, even if it's not outside your country, by yourself, traveling by yourself can completely change your life. It completely did for me. And I genuinely think it's something that every young person should do at least once in their life. It gives you time for self-reflection. It shows you the flaws in your character and takes you completely out of your comfort zone. When you voluntarily do something that makes you uncomfortable, you only get braver in the process, as Jordan Peterson says. Tip number 5, win through your actions, not your arguments. Now, I think when I was 20, 21, I would say at that age, I was going through this phase where I was just very argumentative. And I was arguing with people, my friends or the people around me or just random people, just for the sake of winning. And it took me a while to realize why I was doing it. I mean, it must have been a part of my ego, obviously, to dominate a conversation. Instead, what I realized that you have to let your actions speak for you. I remember having an argument with someone about creating content is the best way to express yourself. And I was for that statement and the other person was against it. And at that time, I wasn't even making content. I believe that's the best way that's the best medium to express yourself. And I was just arguing this, whereas the other person was saying, no, there's better ways to express yourself. And yeah, I think I just wanted to win that argument and I was saying all my points out loud, and even though I wasn't making any content. And now, after at least 52 videos on YouTube, or maybe 51, I'm not sure, I can confidently back up that claim that I believed in by my actions rather than just my words. And you'll come across a lot of people in your life like this that just want to win arguments rather than winning through their actions. And you know, I've done it, you've probably done it, we've all done it. But I think if it's a tip that you really embody at a very young age, and having that mindset can literally make you lethal in life. Tip 6, socialize with people. I was very introverted growing up, couldn't really hold a conversation. My posture was bad. I couldn't look into people's eyes. But then, you know, I was traveling and I also read How to Win Friends and Influence People. And both of those combinations have completely changed my life. If you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. It's by Dale Carnegie. I was naturally introverted, but I don't know, now I just can't not have a conversation with someone. I need to talk. I rely on that external stimulus. And what I've learned from being sociable is that there are so many benefits that you can reap. Because when you actually start having genuine conversations rather than small talk, how's your day? Was good? Yeah, no worries, how's work? Perfect, cool. When you start having genuine conversations with someone, you start to realize how your thought processes work because you're projecting those thoughts onto the other person. And on the contrary, the other person's also doing the same with you. And I have reaped so many benefits by being sociable. The list can just go on and on and on, but I wish that I was a bit more sociable when I was, let's say 18, 19, even 20, but I would have latched onto so many opportunities. But better late than never, sociable can make you so superior in so many things. If you can articulate yourself, you can become so strong in life. Now lastly, tip number 7, discover what you're passionate about and try your best to make something out of it. If you're watching this video, you probably have internet, you're probably living in a place where you have a laptop, you have a computer, a house. If you have that, you probably have access to education. And if you have access to education, you have probably access to opportunities. In Robert Greene's book, actually, he talks about something called primal inclinations, which are these innate passions or these passionate things that we individual human beings are attracted to. Someone might be attracted to cooking, someone might be attracted to movies, someone might be attracted to starting a business. And all these attractions are caused somewhere between your childhood, deep inside your psyche. But these primal inclinations are in everyone. And if you have the opportunity and a bit of luck, then you'd be a fool not to try to at least work towards that goal. For example, I've always been passionate about films, and this whole YouTube content creating thing comes from my love for films. It took me a while to actually realize that, but I'm just doing right now what I am passionate about. I love tech, I love films, I love videography, I love creating something of my own. And all those aspects have been combined. I feel like at a young age, people know some things that they're really passionate about, but they just fall short or they never try, which is just a sad thing to see. And that would be my advice to someone who's at least in their early teens and reaching adulthood at least. But that's it, guys. I think all these tips that I said are somewhat connected with each other. For example, if you start working out, you'll become more confident, then you can socialize with people, then you can also travel maybe by yourself. I mean, they're all interconnected, but I feel like if you can at least do one of these tips, and if you're really young, or even if you're 25 like me, it's never too late, but it's better to get started now. These tips have changed my life, and I just thought it would be beneficial to share it with you guys. Anyway, thank you. I will see you guys soon. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I really appreciate it. It means a lot, and the support. Please like the video and share it with your friends. Thank you again. Until next time.